By firing Tory party chairman Nadhim Zahawi, Rishi Sunak may just have fired up his premiership. And whilst I acknowledge he hasn't set the world on fire since his arrival at number 10, it's my view that shares in Rishi Sunak are too low. As he marks 100 days in office this week, which is a long time in the job by recent standards, it's all to play for. A week is a long time in politics, and 2 years, which is how long he's got until the next election, is an eternity. The firing of Zahawi is what we need to see more of from Sunak, his ruthless side, as he pursues his 5-point plan to halve inflation, cut the debt, fix the NHS waiting lists, boost economic growth and tackle the migrant crisis. Now, the Tories, not for the first time in their history, are dogged by allegations of sleaze, which may or may not have merit. But however unedifying these stories about financial impropriety may be, they are ultimately little more than plot lines in the Westminster soap opera. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would humbly suggest what matters more to you, the British people, is the value of the pound in your pocket, how much your rent costs or your mortgage, energy bills, your job security, the safety of the streets, your ability to get a GP appointment, good schools for your kids, and so on. With the cervix-free leader of the opposition, Sir Keir Starmer, ahead in the polls, I would say be careful what you wish for. Yes, he is a million times better than Jeremy Corbyn, and many would argue Labour deserve a shot at power after 13 years of Tory misrule. Commentators say that Starmer has transformed his party, ridding them of the scourge of anti-Semitism and dragging them kicking and screaming into the political centre ground, a la Tony Blair. Starmer is talking about bold NHS reform, stopping the boats and fixing the economy. He even likes Brexit now. They say that Starmer couldn't do any worse than the Tories, who crashed the economy. As a result, many think it's time for Labour. Really? Is Labour the answer to industrial strife and the striking unions when they're in the pocket of the union barons themselves? Let me tell you, it's very hard to stand up to organisations upon whom you are financially dependent. Is Labour really the answer to the migrant crisis when they've blocked the Rwanda plan and promised a deal with France? Good luck with that one. Bonne chance. Are Labour really the answer when it comes to woke political correctness, which is driving so many Brits mad? Jeremy Clarkson's been writing about it. He points out quite correctly in the Sunday Times last weekend that woke culture is slowly eating away at the fabric of this country, teaching us to hate our history and divide our society, with bonkers ideas like critical race theory, which links racism to skin colour, and gender ideology, which says a man is a woman and vice versa. How can Starmer push back on that when he can't even define what a woman is, even though he's married to one? Starmer is on record as saying, and I quote, "The phrase, 'only women have a cervix,' is something that shouldn't be said. It's not right." And he'll tackle extreme political correctness and woke nonsense, will he? For the record, only women have a cervix. I should know. I spent 9 months next to one as I grew inside my mother's womb. Only women have a womb as well, by the way. Is Labour really the answer to inflation when they'll be under enormous pressure to hand out bonanza public sector pay rises, given that that's where their support lies politically? Is Labour really the answer to our energy problems when they want to start a 1970s-style state-run energy firm which invests taxpayers' borrowed billions on flaky renewables? Now, green energy could be the future, but should taxpayers be taking that bet? In the end, Sunak has settled the nerves of the international bond markets, upon whom we are unfortunately now reliant, with the cost of government borrowing having fallen and with trust in Britain as an investment having significantly recovered internationally. Yes, taxes are too high. Illegal immigration is too high. Inflation is too high. Waiting lists are too high, enough to make you sick. But in his next 100 days, there's every chance that Sunak, if he stays focused and keeps his eye on the prize, could make significant progress in all those areas. And if he does so, I believe he narrows the gap on Starmer and flirts with a narrow victory at the next election. In the end, it's a choice between two prime ministers. Rishi Sunak or Sir Keir Starmer? Who would you rather have at number 10? Look, Sunak lacks Boris Johnson's speech-making skills and charisma. Those Instagram videos he does are about as wooden as the New Forest. And he's hardly man of the people, an out-of-touch, privately educated rich banker who's married to a billionaire. But who cares? You don't have to go for a pint with him or be his best mate. He doesn't have to say all the right things. Sunak doesn't have to be a great person. He has to be a great Prime Minister. And it's my view that after a solid 100 days in office, he's got the makings of just that. His first 100 days won't be his last.